Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Today we have the opportunity to ask for our channel support and for help. Because a lot of folks who watch the channel know a whole lot more about fishing reels than I do. And well, one of our channel viewers, Brad, sent me a reel because he can't identify it. And from the pictures that I saw, I can't identify it either. So I'm going to ask for anybody in the channel who knows what this reel is to please enlighten us all, because well, every now and then you get one of these, you don't know if it's a rare reel, you don't know if it's got any value behind it, and in some cases you don't even know what the reel is, and this is a prime example of that. Now, a lot of odd reels show up from time to time, and I've showed a few of these every now and then, and they're very unusual in the design. Most of the time you're going to find that it has a name on it, right? In this case, this is an Eric's reel, and well, just to me it looks like the Starship Enterprise, right? And every now and then you get unique reels like this one. This one is actually a Ashley reel. It's an Ashley reel that will not backlash. And the fun thing about this reel, it has a unique feature on it. You'll notice it has this little arm here. Now this reel clearly needs to be cleaned up and everything. Notice that arm. Well, what you do with this reel, when you go to cast, you flip the bail, you engage the arm by taking that paddle, pulling back on it. That's going to trap the line so that it won't release in that position. And then as you cast it, you let go of the lever and the line releases out. Kind of replaces your finger. Well, it's kind of an unusual design for sure, but again, we can trace this because, well, we have a name on there, and it tells you a little bit about where the reel was made. Well, we're going to try and do that. This was made by the Ohio Tool Company in Cleveland, if you're interested. But we're going to try and help Brad out with this one. And, well, before we get too far down the road, I want to encourage you to subscribe to my channel. If you do subscribe to my channel, you'll find that I'm covering all kinds of things. I cover all things fishing related, but mostly fishing reel service and repair. We work on all kinds of reels. We work on, well, traditional conventional reels that are used in saltwater or deep lake fishing. Work on freshwater reels, surf reels, and well, I guess everything and anything that's kind of been made. If it needs service, we try to show you how to service that, how to take those reels apart, and how to keep them fishing for a long time to come. Well, this one, again, is it's coming from Brad. He says it's an unbranded reel. Help. Let's take a look. So usually when you're going to try and search for hints on a fishing reel, you're going to see if you can find a maker's mark on there. You'll find out, like this one, it clearly says Arex. Now Arex, if you do a little research on that, you're going to find that Arex was a division of Lionel. Yep, same guys that made the Lionel trains. And, well, in this case it's a Vic reel, but you at least got something to trace yourself with. You're going to look for, well, in that case it says made in the USA, so that maybe that's a clue. Same thing here with this Ashway. You've got a name. That's at least a place to start, right? You can also check on industrial design because, well, a lot of times it'll kind of clue you into when those reels were made. So a lot of the fishing reels in the U.S., spin fishing wise, were made after World War II ended, and most of them, well, they really didn't take off until the 1960s, and a lot of them used all kinds of interesting designs like this one. I got to get this one cleaned up. It's going to be a beauty when it does. But Brad found one here. It says it's unbranded. It's a little bit of a mystery. So let's see what we have here. Well, interestingly enough, this one kind of looks a little bit case-wise like this Ashley. That's one of the reasons I kind of sort of pulled it out, right? It's got this, looks like a molded aluminum casing. It has no identifying marks on it that we can find. I'm going to just, this is kind of interesting with the oscillation system and with the handle system. You can turn this, and I notice it's not oscillating, but I don't know what that means. When I saw the reel from Brad, I said there's a couple of things that kind of look interesting here. One of them looks like, well, we don't have a reel seat I think this is actually the, looks like there's a screw hole there. There's also a screw hole here. So something's missing, right, in this reel. And I don't know what it is, but let's start from the top. Let's see if it's possible if we take the button off of this. That button doesn't remind me of anybody's. Sometimes there's characteristic buttons, like the 3-winged button. That doesn't look far off of a Mitchell reel, but the Mitchell reel has the hole in the center. And, well, the hole in the center allows for you to do a pop-up and release on that spool. Oh, that's not present here. If we take the spool off, well, we have a, this is kind of interesting, we have the pipe cleaner fixture. The pipe cleaner fixture usually is 1950s, and that's to keep water out. And yeah, you can use a pipe cleaner, try and find a pipe or a pipe cleaner these days, but you could use one to replace that if needed. And again, inside this, for those of you that are playing along and trying to figure this thing out, inside of this, there's nothing really distinguishable in terms of the design. I'm not familiar with it, but hey, what does that mean? And there's a lot of things I'm not familiar with. Okay, there's a drag washer on the bottom here. Let's go put that back. These were the 2 washers that came from underneath here. There's a spring washer that's going to provide your drag. I did notice on the sequence when we did this that belongs on top. I'm a little bit concerned here because it doesn't seem like there's oscillation. I told Brad I would try to do my best to, one, identify it, and 2, see if we can't get that going again. Now, we did provide the handle. And again, very odd in terms of the look, as well as the handle itself. So most of the handles that we get have a rectangular center to it. I don't know if you can see that, but this one's a square center. Again, that would be a clue if you were kind of looking for who the manufacturer was there. Now there does appear to be a little stamp here that says 0. Not sure. Okay, the handle goes on. And again, this is kind of odd because wherever you've seen a design like this, where the handle is so far extended off of the reel. So we're going to assume we've got a reel seat here. There's got to be something missing. There's got to be a piece missing here because this is the oscillation system. That shouldn't fall down like that. So my guess is there's a little connector point down here, a cup maybe, that has the reel stand on it. Yeah, you have to, because we have a hole on each side. So there's got to be a reel stand that comes here. It does look like there's a imprint here. That could just be a case molding, but perhaps that's an implant. So you would have a reel stand, maybe from here, or pivoting here and coming up this way, probably something like that. And that would prevent this one. It'd be some kind of a cup down here to allow this to move without it being exposed to the elements. Kind of, well, kind of interesting, right? Let's see if the reel turns. Well, we got the reel sort of turning backwards. Well, maybe that's a clue. Maybe this reel belongs upside like that, like your traditional spin cast, right? So again, very curious here. Looks like we're missing a piece on this side with the bubble below. Looks like this has got a tapped in screw. So maybe it's even a kind of a 2-way with a 3rd. Looks like the way that the handle turns is that it would be a top mounted reel. And sort of like this one looks. This was, I believe this one was set up for a top type of a crank on a spin fisher. I'm not sure. Got to do some research there. Again, there's a lot of folks out there that know these things. So let's just do a couple of things. There is an attachment for the rotor that's not a traditional rotor nut. Looks like there's 3 screws to get removed to bolt this assembly on. Again, I didn't take this all the way off. Let's just check on the base here. But these are all clues in terms of industrial design. Yeah, we do have a nut on the rotor there. So I guess that outer part there is your bail trip mechanism. Kind of looks like what's being held on here. And any help that you could provide Brad or myself would be seriously appreciated. The handle knobs say 1950s. That's kind of when these bone type of knobs, this one's plastic. Initially, I guess in the 40s they were Bakelite or whatever. These are plastic, but that would give you an indication. So again, we're not quite sure what this is, and any help that anybody can provide would clearly be appreciated. Well, always working on fishing reels. Some of them are unusual. This one certainly is. And if you can help us understand what that reel is, it would be much appreciated. Well, thanks everybody for viewing. Special shout out to our first responders, our police, fire, rescue, everybody that helps us every day and dedicates their career to public safety. Thank you. And well, there seems to never be an end to how to amuse yourself with fishing reels and learning in the histories of them and trying to figure out how they work. And well, somebody asked me once, if you were to design a reel, what would you use? Boy, that's the toughest question I think I've had. I don't know. There's so many fun and unique features like this one for the casting and the like that I don't know what my hybrid would be, but I've pondered it from time to time. Hope you've enjoyed this. I appreciate everybody for watching, and I thank you, and I wish everybody a great day. This is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle.